Hey everyone, rudyxx here to talk about another RPGalooza game, Star Ocean's Second Evolution. For those of you that don't know, RPGalooza is a project I started involving playing through a huge list of RPG titles ranging from Western style to Japanese. And while I'm not a huge RPG connoisseur, I do like to dabble in them every now and then, so hopefully I can provide for you all a more modern day gamer's look at my experiences with them. And with that out of the way, on to Star Ocean Second Evolution. I was originally introduced to the Star Ocean series the day Star Ocean Second Story came out in the US by one of the clerks at my local game store that was apparently obsessed with the game. At the point when it was released, I had played maybe a handful of RPGs in general, so I wasn't super into the genre at that point, but apparently since I'd played games like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI, the clerk thought I'd love it, and I very vividly remember him going on a huge rant about how great the game was. At the time, I thought it was kind of mediocre, and I'm not even sure if I originally finished the game then, or if it was a few years later. It wasn't until Second Evolution came out that I really fell in love with the game, so for RPGalooza, I decided to play that version of the game. And as I'm sure you've realized by now, this was definitely not my first experience with the game, so for RPGalooza, I decided I'd play through Claude's story since I was less familiar with that one. And overall, it was a pretty fun experience. There's a lot of things I like about the game, and while I definitely have some good feelings towards it, I really feel like it's still just barely above mediocre. For RPGalooza, I eventually decided to go with a rating of 7 out of 10 because, despite it being somewhat mediocre, it's definitely got a few things in it that really push it beyond other games in the series. For starters, the music in the game is really fantastic. Now, it's definitely got its fair share of songs that I'm pretty sure Sakuraba spent less than 30 minutes working on. None of them stand out as being particularly bad, so it actually ends up being a pretty good soundtrack. The variety of experiences with the multitude of paths you can take throughout the journey is also a plus since it provides a somewhat different experience every time you play, even if in many cases it's only a slight difference. For RPGalooza though, I only played through the game once, so I kind of planned ahead on a lot of things to both make the experience fun, but also kind of lower the amount of time I spent playing the game. Now, I love this game, and I have spent countless hours watching speedruns of the game, but also it kind of drags out a bit too much at parts and can become somewhat of a slog if you don't really like some of the characters. There's also the fact that for me, a lot of the shock value of some of the scenes is completely lost on me because I already know the story. So in scoring this, I kind of debated the fact that a lot of things in this could have been better, or better received at least, if this had been my first time playing the game. But also the game has become a bit stale to me at this point, just from how much I've seen of it. All in all, I definitely enjoyed playing it for RPGalooza, but I think part of that was because I planned ahead so much, instead of just letting the game take me wherever. On a more positive note though, the gameplay of the game is amazingly fun. I'm a big fan of the actiony style of combat in the Star Ocean games, so encounters are fun and engaging to me rather than feeling like a chore from how often they occur. And thankfully the AI for your partners in this game isn't an absolute disaster like the other Star Ocean games, so overall the combat was pretty stellar. But anyways, that's all I've got to say about my experience with Star Ocean Second Evolution. So if you enjoyed this video and would like to look forward to hearing me give my opinion on RPGs in the future, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in seeing me actually play through a variety of games in real time, make sure you follow my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/rudyxx. Thanks for watching and see you next time.